How's it going, everybody? This is Alex Caceres, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
Another week in the books. Another week of Story of the Fight. My name is Romero. That's my boy Will with the flex. How you doing, Will?
Oh, dude, I'm doing good. Yesterday was the card was good. You could tell it felt, at least to me, like it was missing a main event, to be honest. But it was still top to bottom a damn good card. So I'm happy, feeling good this weekend.
You know what I was thinking? I was thinking that if anybody doesn't want to listen to us on YouTube or watch us on YouTube, they can find us on Spotify, Breaker Podcast, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, pretty much wherever you could find your podcast or social media.
Yeah, we're at Story of the Fight on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok now.
I'm figuring it out.
Added it. Yeah, we're getting stuff on TikTok, you know.
Yeah, man.
With the children.
We're trying to make sure that every generation enjoys mixed martial arts, you know, and that respects everything that happens. So, yes. And we were trying to reach 300 subscribers. So if you remotely like what we do, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Sometimes, you know, like today we'll go live and talk everything mixed martial arts and talk about the previous, fights from the previous night. What's up?
Shout out HLB Comer. Welcome to church. It's been a while, dude.
Yeah, my man is back. But yeah, I mean,
hanging with the boys.
Yeah, that's right, dude. Yes, but 300 subscribers is the goal. We're almost there. Help us reach it. But yes, like you mentioned, Will, there were some fights last night. Now, me personally, I didn't feel like there was a main event missing. You know, you have no. You have one of the most elite fighters in the world in Colby Covington. You have.
I thought you were going to say Greg Hardy.
He's a close second. And then you have one of the larger draws, right, that has hype behind them, which is Jorge Masvidal.
Yeah.
So you know what? I felt good. I felt good about it.
Yeah, I thought it was a solid co-main.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was fun.
Well,
it was fun.
I enjoyed it. Right? And you want to just get right into it and start talking about these fights?
Yeah, let's get right into it. Colby Covington versus Jorge Masvidal.
Colby Covington versus Jorge Masvidal. The American hero, Colby Covington. Yes, coming out. And so my friend Daniel is now just getting into fights. And he texted me earlier in the day. He said, so how do you think the fight's going to go? I said, look, dude, Colby Covington has one of the best gas tanks in all of MMA. It's going to be nonstop pressure. He's going to try to grind Masvidal out. And the reality is that Masvidal, when he has his highlight knockouts, has looked pretty good in his highlight knockouts. Yeah. If you remember when he was going up against Nate and he beat Nate, he was starting to slow down a little bit.
Yeah,
by the time that fight was stopped. But I just didn't think he'd be able to keep up with Colby Covington the entire night.
I remember when they announced this fight, it was like, I think we both texted and we were like, well, this is a pretty easy night for Colby. Stylistically, a nightmare matchup for Jorge. What is Jorge? What's his biggest weakness? The wrestling. What's his second biggest weakness? Cardio. The two things Colby excels at.
His strengths.
Yeah, and Jorge needs space, and Colby doesn't give people space. And you can see Jorge had some success. I mean, he did land some good shots. He dropped him right in the fourth round. I think he dropped him.
With the right hook.
Yeah, and it was off the space, right? But Colby always does such a good job of recovering whenever he does get dropped. But I mean,
Usman.
Yeah. And but stylistically, when they first announced this, pretty much everybody that I heard talking about this fight was like, well, Colby's just going to smother him. He's not going to give him any space. And then everyone was like, yeah, but Jorge could land that flying knee like he did against wrestling Ben Askren. It's like, well, not every wrestler is the same, you know?
Yeah.
Colby's not shooting from 20 yards out, you know?
No, absolutely. And the thing is that, you know what, we take a look at Ben Askren and compare him to Colby Covington. Colby Covington looks like, you know, one of the best strikers in MMA compared to Ben Askren. So where Ben Askren will force the takedown, even if he has to shoot from a distance, Colby Covington doesn't mind mixing it up a little bit to be able to close that distance. He'll blitz in a little bit. That first picture that Rich showed, where he's throwing that left hand, he's not throwing those hands to try to knock out Masvidal.
No.
He's throwing those hands to be able to close that distance, clinch him up against the fence, and see how it is that he'd be able to take him down. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, and not even just that. It's even more like multifaceted than that, because everyone says like, oh, you got to set up the takedown with the hands. You got to set up the takedown with the hands. He does that, but what he also does is he'll stand with you just long enough until you think, okay, yeah, let's start trading, and then he's under you. And he does it so well. And I hate to say it because I'm not a huge fan of his like personality and stuff. I like and I know the personality is to make people not a big fan of him, right? And want to watch him lose.
It's
but
working.
At the same time, it works. But like, fuck, maybe he is that much of a genius, because the character is terrible. It's a really bad, like, not just terrible, like, oh, I don't like what he says. It's terrible, like really poorly done. But maybe that's on purpose.
That's
also
part of it,
like,
though.
It's just like, it's just so transparent, like it's such bullshit that it's like, come on, man, give me a little respect, but it works. And lately he's been having more exciting fights, but I think that just comes with him actually having to face people who can throw something back at him, right? Because the majority of his wins have been pretty lackluster as far as like rewatch value goes, unless he's fighting
and not to any
the
fault
top
of his
three.
own.
No. If it was me, I don't give a fuck if all my fights are boring as long as I'm dominating. Like, I don't want to get hit, But yeah,
right. Who he gets paired with has a lot to do with how exciting the fight is.
Yeah. And I wish he was getting paired with more wrestlers. I would love to see him fight some more wrestlers.
Like Usman?
Well, because that's what happens, right? The two wrestlers fight, they cancel out, and they start swinging and banging with their like somewhat striking technique,
Yeah.
Until Usman starts becoming an elite striker with Trevor Whitman, and then all of a sudden it's not even close.
For sure.
But I don't know what Colby does from here.
He continues being the second best welterweight in the world. He's in such a tough position, man. You know what I mean?
Because Khamzat versus Gilbert, and then we decide who the real second best is.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah. What do you think happens there? Khamzat takes it.
My brain tells me Gilbert, but my heart tells me Khamzat.
And man, if that happens and it ends up being Khamzat versus Colby Covington. Now, Colby Covington called out Dustin Poirier at the end, right? Which we'll see if that ends up happening or not. Dustin's been talking about going up a weight class. Well, we'll see. Who knows? Because at this point, I think Dustin's also just looking to make some paychecks. Yeah,
but Dustin's said multiple times now that he will never let Colby capitalize on what Dustin's accomplished in his career. And he's like, I'll fight him anywhere but the cage. I'll never let him use my platform as like a way to like make more money. And even Colby calls him out, and he's like, and Dustin tweeted, he was like, how about calling out like a welterweight contender? What did HLB Comer say? All props to
HLB talking about, he took the fight. He must have known.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
He took the fight, and he must have known how it will go. If I was his manager, I would have pushed for the Leon fight instead. Anyway, he got to show and respect. Yeah, we got to show and respect both the guys. Yeah, definitely. I mean, and Colby kind of said it when Colby won his last fight or finished his last fight. He even said, like, Jorge, I don't know what Jorge's doing fighting Leon. He should just fake an injury and then take a fight with me, and then make way more money. Very short-sighted with that. And then that's kind of what happened, right? Masvidal had to pull out of the Leon fight, and then they end up making this fight, and it's like, wait, what just happened here? If I were, I think HLB Comer hits the nail on the head. If I'm Masvidal's manager, that's the fight you make, because stylistically, Leon is a much more winnable fight than Masvidal, and the Colby fight will always be there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The Colby fight, because at this point they both lost to the champ twice. When he loses this fight to Colby, it's kind of hard to throw him in the mix with someone like Leon rankings wise, in my opinion. But if he fought Leon and he lost to Leon, the Colby fight's still there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely makes sense. So, all right, I'm going to say this. I think Jorge Masvidal is overrated. I really do. I think that he was lightning in a bottle. Let's take a look at his wins recently. So the Darren Till win, we still don't know if we're ever going to get Darren Till that reaches his full potential.
Yeah.
I still don't know. Not to say that he's not a good fighter, but that was a good win for Jorge Masvidal coming back,
Definitely.
right? Not taking that away from him. Ben Askren is who we thought he was. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Nate Diaz around nearing the end of his career. Okay, we can say it's not the same.
A weight class above where he should be.
Yes. So he caught lightning in a bottle, and props to him for being able to capitalize on those fights and the way that he won those fights. I mean, the knockout against Ben Askren just shot him right into stardom.
Oh,
everybody was talking about that. It was mainstream, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes back and he fights the more than ever popular Nate Diaz and beats Nate Diaz. So then the BMF, and all that other stuff, the way they built it up. So even more hype. And then I think about, okay, well, let's take a look at the welterweight division. Jorge Masvidal is ranked 6th. Does he beat a Bilal Muhammad?
Yes.
You think he could beat a Bilal Muhammad?
I think so.
I don't think so. That's me personally. I don't think he could beat Bilal Muhammad because it's very similar to Colby's style. Extremely high cardio.
But you look at what Leon
face pressure.
But you look at what Leon did to Bilal. Like, Bilal does that to people who will crumble in the striking and give up that range. I don't think Jorge would to someone like Bilal.
I think Leon's a more winnable fight than
stylistically, it's a much better chance. I don't think he beats him though.
Then Colby Covington. And that's the same thing. I don't think he beats him. So I don't want to use that MMA math. You know what I mean?
No. I'm not. Yeah, but you look at Vicente Luque, Bilal Muhammad. Those are both winnable fights, I think, for Jorge. The problem is when you start.
Luque.
You don't think so?
I don't think he beats Vicente Luque. And again,
awesome for me.
I'm just. And now, granted, he lost twice to Kamaru Usman, who is the best welterweight in the world and the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter. Loses to Colby Covington. So he's losing to the top of the top, the cream of the crop. Mm-hmm. Also lost to Stephen Thompson before that.
Yeah.
Also lost to Damian Maia before that. Which, by the way, we saw that live. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Miocic versus Dos Santos too.
But here's the thing too with Masvidal, like, and it goes back to what HLB Comer said. The management, he shouldn't have taken the rematch with Usman. Even with hindsight being 2020, right? You got knocked out, bad move, but it leaves you nowhere to come back to. And stylistically, he's not going to win those fights against an elite pressure wrestler, an elite pressure grappler. That's why I think Colby, Usman, and even Gilbert Burns are terrible matchups for him. But Leon, much better matchup. I don't think he wins it. I think Leon's too quick and straight. But it's still a great matchup. Someone like...
but he could still get caught. I mean, because it's the exact same reason that we said we don't think Nate Diaz is going to beat Leon Edwards. And he ended up getting caught at the end. But
true. Anything can happen, right? But if they fought 10 times, I think Leon beats
crazy
most of them.
things happen.
Yeah.
I agree.
I just think they kind of halted his hype train. Came to a screeching halt with that first Usman fight. They decided to do it twice. And then now Colby. And now it's 3 in a row to very similar styles, right? Usman and Colby. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I do agree that Jorge's a little bit overrated. Yeah, it's tough.
And we have HLB come through and saying Masvidal has a clear weakness on the ground. Remember his fight with Mariya. Yeah, like we said, we were there live for that one. Essentially, Mariya was a backpack the entire fight. You know, but Mariya did walk away from that fight saying that Masvidal was the best MMA grappler he had ever faced. So I don't know.
And Comer makes a good point here too. He is 37 years old, and he is making a lot of money. He just signed a very lucrative deal, which, to be fair, if I'm his manager, maybe it was smart to take this Colby fight because I don't know if he can renegotiate to get one of the most lucrative combat sports contracts in history without this Colby fight like building, right? Because it was in the buildup for that fight that he signs this contract. If he was fighting somebody else and there's not that buildup with the grudge match and all this stuff, does he get that same deal? I don't know. Probably not.
And he probably wouldn't have an opportunity later on down the road to continue facing your top threes. If he fights a Leon Edwards, and then he loses. If he fights a Bilal Muhammad and then he loses, and he's going to continue going down the ranks, then those options are gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, all right. Anything else on the main event?
it was a cool fight. You know, I just don't really know like outside of outside of the drama and the storyline and all that stuff. I don't really see like sport wise why it happened. You know, um,
It was purely entertainment.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's like you said, it's the build up, the drama. You know what I mean? And they're
hmm
like, "Oh snaps, we're gonna have to move Volkanovski over to another
yeah.
card." You know, and Max Holloway. Oh snaps, Aljamain Sterling
We're gonna have to
versus
move
Petr
that
Yan. We're
too.
gonna have to move that too. You know what?
Yeah.
There's a lot of drama here. Let's go ahead and push this fight. It's a
Mhm.
non-title fight, main event. How often do we get to do this? Let's take advantage of it. And if you think about it, some of the
Oh,
most recent ones have both been with Jorge Masvidal.
yeah, it's true. And I just want to say this too. Uh, I forgot. I can't believe we never even mentioned it.
What?
How about ESPN feed going down during the main event?
Did it?
What stream were you watching? Was it BT Sport?
No.
Dude, after
I paid for it, Will.
dude, after the groin strike that Colby landed, uh, after that the groin strike, the feed went down, and it was like ESPN's experiencing technical difficulties. It wasn't my stream; it was the actual feed from ESPN. Then I switched to
Really?
BT Sport, and it was still going. Then I switched back, and it was like ESPN experiencing technical difficulties. Go on Reddit, a bunch of people were like, "What the fuck, ESPN? You pay $100 for a pay per view, and it goes down in the middle of the main event."
Oh my God. What a
Crazy.
nightmare. What a nightmare. They'll get it right eventually. I mean, ESPN's a newer network that's just figuring it out. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, it's small time, you know.
small
Uh,
time, small time.
the other thing too is first round, Colby eye pokes him, gets the takedown while Masvidal's complaining, right? Second round, groin strike, complains about it, and then whatever, right? That was just two fouls in the main card or the main event. Was this the most fouls in one card top to bottom? This might have been the dirtiest card I've ever seen.
Yeah, yeah. There's
It
a
was
few
pretty
things
bad.
that I have notated as well to
It's
cover
pretty
about some of
bad.
those things. You know, and our friends from Ford to Win MMA saying, "Cool fight, nice promo pivot for Colby." And that, I mean, yeah, he has an opportunity to, walk out of there saying, "Didn't even break a sweat, easy money. This is
Yeah,
who I want to fight next."
got
And
dropped.
yeah, exactly. Whether it's calling out Dustin, whoever it is, it's an opportunity for him
Terrible
to
card.
walk away from another main event with
Yeah.
another victory, being the all-American hero, calling out the troops, the first responders, Colby Covington, all-American hero. Let's do it. Let's go.
But at the same time, I mean, the call out of Dustin is just such a wasted opportunity. And then it's almost like the signs or the writings on the wall of like what's really left, right? Because he's never going to beat Usman. I doubt he ever gets a third title shot. And then he's calling out lightweights who aren't going to fight him. Like HLB Comer said, Dustin won't fight him.
Yep.
Yeah. And shout out HLB Comer. There was even a female crotch strike. It was
Yeah,
it was
we'll
the
cover that later.
dirtiest card I've ever seen. So
All right.
much cheating, so many fouls. It was crazy.
Are you done slandering Colby Covington's name, Will?
Yeah, he can lose my number.
All right. Before that, we had Rafael dos Anjos versus Renato Moicano. And again, our friends at Ford to Win MMA calling out that Moicano has the biggest cojones.
Balls of adamantium. I mean,
That
Jesus Christ, man.
Ooh, taking a beating. Now, this kind of got me feeling some sort of way, right? And I started thinking
Yeah.
about Max Holloway versus Calvin
Mhm.
Kattar, where I'm
Yeah.
thinking, okay, when does the corner throw in the towel? When does the doctor say, hey, he's probably
Terrible doctor.
when
Awful
he was
doctor.
he was a savage, and then Mark Goddard. Look, okay, Mark Goddard. A couple years back, I think it was our first award show. I gave Mark Goddard the Referee of the Year award. Right.
Yeah.
Last year it was Herzog. Before that was Mark Goddard. I think that in
Back-to-back
this
years for
case,
Herzog from me.
Mark Goddard, you knowing MMA more, I would assume, than the doctor that's walking in there. And I get that the doctor knows more probably about just health in general.
Yeah.
But dude's taking a beating, man.
Dude's taking a beating. His eyes swollen shut. He's not offering anything back once they go to the ground, which it goes to the ground every single round. He's just getting pummeled. He did have really good success. I was seeing it every time he'd throw the jab and the two behind it, the right straight. RDA would duck the right straight and then shoot the takedown. He adjusted though, and he started throwing the jab to the uppercut, and was having a ton of success with the uppercut. But regardless, it was still like 3 minutes of top control by RDA in every single round. So he's getting pummeled. The head kick knockdown was nasty. Probably could have called the fight during the ground and pound after that. I would have been okay with that. But
Renato Moicano has no quit in him, though, man.
Yeah.
Because not once did he stop trying to gain better position or intelligently defend himself.
The dude's game, for sure.
Oh, my God.
So he did his part to get the fight, to make the fight continue. Marc Goddard should have stopped it after the high kick, in my opinion. Then the doctor comes in. He does the high school concussion test that doesn't do shit. And he's like, nah, he's good. And then Goddard's like, whatever. I'll let it go. Then before the fifth round, I mean, look at that. Before the fifth round, he's like, I'm worried that his corner's not going to stop it. His corner's not going to stop the fight. They should. The corner should have stopped the fight, in my opinion. And then Marc Goddard's telling the doctor, I need you to look at him because they're not going to do their job. And the doctor's like, he can see. And he's like, he can see. And he's like, technically he can see. And it's like, okay. I guess I can't stop because the ref can't stop it there.
No, but HLB Comer brings up a really good point. He said the doctor told the ref, it's reasonable to stop it.
Yeah.
It'd be reasonable to stop it. So
true. He did say that. And then here's what Marc Goddard did that I don't agree with and he should not have done it. Marc Goddard goes out to start the fifth round. He walks over to Moicano and he says, you have 30 seconds to show me something. This is probably right here. Goddard saying, you have 30 seconds to show me something to make so that I won't stop this fight. Terrible. He should not ever do that. You should never do that. It's not the referee's job to do that. The referee should not influence a fighter in that way to make Moicano go out there guns blazing, maybe get knocked out to start the round. Goddard should have told himself, I'm going to give him 30 seconds to show me something. He should never put that on the fighter. You shouldn't do that, in my opinion. I think he should have told himself, I'm giving myself 30 seconds unless he shows me something. The referee should not be influencing the fight in that way.
When we think about that, right, because we also hear the referee telling fighters, like if they're in the middle of getting hit, when let's say a fighter's on top ground and pound, and you hear referees say, you got to show me something.
Right? I think that's different, though. I think that's different.
Okay.
Because in that moment, the fighter might be saying, I'm fine, I'm just shelling up, I'm weathering the storm. But he might not know the referee's about to stop this fight because I'm not showing something. So that's different than to start the round, hey, you better go out there and do something, show me that you're still in this fight, because then that's going to influence how he's starting the round. He's not already in danger. You know what I mean? Like, it's different. I think it's different.
And you see a couple different sides of this, man, because
well
first let me talk about the fight, right? Because you have RDA who's still showing he is elite, man. This guy doesn't age. Yeah, it's crazy. His high kick was so quick, and his work to the body leading up to the high kick, his head movement, his footwork, it's super fantastic still. And Renato Moicano, this was just a little too much for him. And hey, he took this on short notice.
On like what, 5 days notice?
Renato Moicano took this on short notice. So props to Renato Moicano. Like you said, he showed his game. So props to him. Can't take that away from him. But just a little too much too soon, I think, for Moicano. Because he just now started, building himself up again. And hey, you got to shoot your shot, though. If the opportunity presents itself, you got to shoot your shot. And that being said, like I said, I was going to just talk about the different sides of it because you heard the announcers saying, hey, Marc Goddard handled this beautifully. Just as an example here, you see our friends from 4 to 1 MMA saying, hey, I'd allow it. They would prefer that the referee kind of instigates action. So there's two sides of the coin. And I guess it just really depends on what it is that you would rather see. Me personally, I would have liked to see Goddard go up to the corner of that fifth round and be like, hey, doctor said it's reasonable to stop. I'm stopping it based off of the amount of damage that he's taken.
It should have been stopped after the fourth.
I think so too. But we always say the corners know their fighters best.
Yeah.
We always say that.
It's definitely true. They know their fighters best. But in a situation like this, and listen, he won the fifth round on one of the judges' scorecard. And I actually scored the fifth round for Moicano also. corners need to. It's not boxing. It's crazy because boxing, you'll see corners throw the towel in more than MMA.
Yep.
Even though a loss in boxing is way worse than it is in MMA. MMA, you could lose. I mean, you could lose 10 fights. Edson Barboza has 10 losses, and people still love to see him fight every single time. You know what I mean? Bisping had like 16 losses before he got his title shot. Like losses really don't matter. You live to fight another day, right? It's crazy that in boxing they're more ready to throw the towel when if you get 3 or 4 losses, it's like people don't even care about you anymore. But they're willing to throw the towel in because people. What is it going to take for someone to die in MMA in the UFC at least? Because people have died in MMA, but are they waiting until someone dies in the UFC to start thinking that, hey, maybe this is serious and maybe we should start throwing the towel in? Yeah, I can only think of 2 times I've seen the towel get thrown in. 2 times. And I've been watching since 2006. That's crazy.
It's nuts. HLB Comer coming through with, I think you hit it right on the nail here. They might know them best, but we also know they won't do what's best for them. It's crazy. It's just a sense of pride, right?
I think so.
This warrior mentality.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at the only 2 times I could think of the towel being thrown in was Nate Diaz versus Josh Thompson, right? But that's literally his brother, his older brother watching his younger brother get beat up and he throws the towel in, right? A little different than just like a coach. And then the recently, Derek Brunson's corner threw the towel in against Jared Cannonier. And that I mean, well deserved. He was not going to get out of that. And this was not a situation where Moicano was going to come back from. So at this point, it's like, why? He's just taking so many unnecessary shots. And I want to say too, I forgot to mention this. What a class act RDA is. The guy is so classy because I'll be honest, that 5th round, I gave it to Moicano.
Took his foot off the pedal.
I think RDA was kind of like, this is a sparring round. This is a sparring round. You could tell because, dude, RDA doesn't gas. He doesn't gas and slow down like that. I'm almost positive he already talked about how much respect he had for Moicano for stepping up and taking this fight on such short notice.
All the shots to the head looked like he had taken some off.
Yeah,
so everything he was touching him up. The one time he threw something heavy, Moicano clocks him with the combo, and he comes back with the body shot, like a hard body shot on Moicano. But,
yeah. Shout out for the win. Got to run.
Love you guys. Hey, we love you too, 4-1. Appreciate it, man. But yeah, just Moicano, very gutsy performance.
Hey, RDA champ at 165 if they made the division?
Oof. Man, that's a tough one.
He looked damn good at 160.
He did. He did. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what kind of long-term effects this has on Moicano. We might not see him back in there for a while. We'll see. Sound good?
If I'm his coach, if I'm his team, I'm saying, hey, let's chill for a bit. I hope he got paid. He deserves to get paid for this, man. Stepping up, saving the co-main event on 5 days' notice. He just fought in February. Like, I hope he got paid, He was finally starting to get his traction, and like go up. And man,
that's what I'm saying. A little too much, a little too soon, I mean, he beat Jai Herbert, Chase Hooper, Alexander Hernandez. Not necessarily all world beaters.
And the Hooper one was
Rafael dos Anjos.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
Oh yeah, and Hooper was just the grappling.
Hooper was just a grappling match, yeah.
Yeah.
HLB Comer, also one little annoyance. It's so dishonest when people like Bisping talk about how the fight should be stopped when we all know if Bisping was in that fight, he would fight to the death. Yeah.
Bisping would have his eye pop out and he'd continue fighting.
Dude, I remember when he was fighting Anderson Silva, I don't know where it was. Maybe it was in London. They had it was early in the States, and we were working, and I had it up in the break room at Best Buy when I still worked with you.
I remember that. I was there. I was in there.
Yeah. And at the end of the 3rd round, I think it was, when his mouth guard falls out and he's pointing to the ref like, hey, my mouth guard. And Anderson lands the flying knee on him while he's talking and just literally KOs him. But Herb couldn't wave it off in time. The bell rang as he was falling down and they let it continue. Bisping has no – I agree with HLB Comer. And then Bisping won that fight, so maybe he's right. I don't fucking know. But he got knocked out.
But, the difference might be, though, that Bisping was winning some of those rounds leading up to.
Oh, that's the
where
difference, right? Because he won on the
Moicano
scorecard.
was
It's not like
getting
he.
his ass beat.
Yeah, it was not
So,
good.
all right, let's move on here. Before that,
And wait, real quick, this RDA shows up and fights Fiziev. Who do you think would have won that fight? Because this was supposed to be Fiziev.
I think RDA, man.
I
If
think
this
RDA would
RDA
have beat
shows
him.
up, if
I
this
think RDA
RDA
would have beat
shows
him.
up, I'm telling you, man, he looks so good.
His ability to mix up the grappling as soon as you start throwing and committing to your strike. Same thing with Colby, but a little different because Colby's much more of a smothering wrestler, where RDA was like damaging.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
No,
Like
for sure.
RDA's top game looked so fucking good, and I'm pretty sure if I was a betting man, I would bet on Moicano to be a better grappler than Fiziev.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I would edge that out to RDA. All right, let's go here. We have Bryce Mitchell, Thug Nasty, going up against Edson Barboza.
HLB Comer said Islam would maul him regardless, and I agree. If Islam stepped into that fight, I think Islam probably would have won.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Bryce Mitchell.
Yes, Bryce Mitchell. I need to give Bryce Mitchell his respect, man, because leading up to I picked Edson Barboza, just like I thought too much too soon for Moicano. I thought too much too soon for Bryce Mitchell. And he absolutely proved me wrong, man. He's like a little Habib from Arkansas, you know, where he has these takedowns and he has this top control that was very hard for Edson Barboza to get out of. The consistent ground and pound. I thought it was a masterful performance by Bryce Mitchell.
Definitely. I mean, he has that same effect, right? Where you're so worried because it's so dangerous on the ground with submissions that you're so worried about being taken down that he drops you with the left hand, you know?
Yep. Now, I might have overshot it saying he was like a little Habib, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. He just took the wheel and whipped some ass. But I think I do think this fight did make me think that I wish we could go back to pride rules with like yellow cards and shit, because I think it was the second round where Mitchell just stayed in Edson's guard for like 2 straight
Coasted
minutes.
A little.
Yeah, and at that point, it's like maybe stand him up, or I don't know. He wasn't doing much. He was content with just being in the guard. He wasn't setting up anything. He wasn't trying to pass. He wasn't really landing anything significant until he started landing the elbows. Because eventually he did start working enough where I was like, oh, you can't stop it now because he's splitting him open with elbows. But for like 2.5 minutes straight, it was like, come on.
Yeah.
But man, Edson, at the start, I thought he looked really good landing the leg kicks. His leg kicks were really good. And I was like, well, that's what you do. Someone like Bryce Mitchell, right? Take away those legs so he can't take you down. But then he took him down, and then he continued to take him down, and then he dropped him, and then he split him open. And I mean, what a grueling fight for Edson, man. And we've seen him there before, right?
We have. And in my notes, I put down Barboza accepted the loss. That's what I felt like.
It looked similar, right, to when he fought Habib. And when Habib, there was moments in that fight where you could see on Edson's face, he was just like, this is a long day at work. And this is how it's going. And that's kind of what happened here again.
Mitchell, what about the respect they showed to each other afterwards, though?
Yeah. Oh, Edson's always been such a class act, too, dude. I love Edson Barboza. Win or lose, he'll always be exciting. Always a class act. I did have Mitchell winning this fight, though, going into it.
You did. I saw that. Nice pick. And then even after when, I think they're in the locker room, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
You see that video? And Barboza walks in to give Mitchell some props again. They kind of hug each other and talk a little bit more. It's just, I love seeing that type of stuff, man. Then I also like seeing the chirping between Colby and Masvidal at the end.
Yeah.
So I like it all.
Comer says, poor Edson, he just wants to kick you to the moon, but he gets these wrestlers that just drag him around the floor. It's true, man. What are we doing at this point? What's Edson's record?
Well, that's what I put down here. Is Barboza just the official gatekeeper for top 10?
I think so. I mean, he's 22 and 11.
Breaking into top 15?
He's 22 and 11. Let's just give him strikers from now on, right? He's not going to make a title run, I don't think, at this point, but let's just give him strikers. He's so exciting.
That's what we say right now, and then they're going to give him like 3 straight strikers. He's going to win 3 straight times by knockout. We're going to be like, maybe he's making another run.
Yeah. But, how about Joe? He's like, and how much of this is Edson killing his body trying to make 145? Anik's like, well, he's He's 4 fights deep into 145 already. It's like, damn.
Dude, John Daniels like, aha!
Yeah. How about also Bryce Mitchell in the post fight saying he's donating half his purse to children in need, and then did you see what Dana said?
Dana said, "Don't give up your money. I got it."
Yep. He's like, you
That's
keep your money, I'll donate it.
That's so awesome, man. I love seeing that too. But Bryce Mitchell, man, he's a new man. He's a new man.
Yeah, and how about man, the first time I ever heard about him was when he drilled his nuts in half. Remember that?
He drilled his nuts in half?
You don't remember that?
No.
Dude, he was working on something. His hands were up on like a board or something. He had a drill in his waist. Somehow the drill went off, twisted up his nuts. He flipped it to reverse, drilled again, released it all, nuts in half. Had to get stitches, all that shit.
What?
Yeah. The man's
Wait, nuts in half?
He split his sack open.
Oh, got it. That's not cool.
Open the bag.
Cool. Open the bag.
Yeah. Also, yeah, I don't know if you've seen his rap. His rap.
Yeah,
he's a better rapper than Woodley. I'll give him that.
I mean,
he's just out there on the farm.
That's not saying much. That's not saying much.
Also, okay, so they give Bryce Mitchell the camo shorts, which I'm all for. They look fucking sick, right? I don't really like camo shit, but it's fucking awesome. I love to see that kind of stuff.
Because it just fits him so well. That's why.
Yeah, but also, hey, let's maybe do that for more fighters and let them have like signature shorts again. Like if you're gonna let Bryce have it with camo shorts, let's fucking have more fighters with their cool signature shorts.
What would you do? Give me an example.
Belt. Fuck, dude, you put me on the spot like this. But you just think of like Chuck Liddell, right? He had the icicles because he was the Iceman.
Yeah.
Tito had the flames. You know, Anderson had the black front, yellow back. Like,
give Colby Covington the USA flag one. You know what I mean?
Fuck it, dude. Let's do it. Like, keep them still all Venom and still the same like designs and stuff, but fill the color in with whatever they want. You know what I mean?
For sure, man. Give like a Greg Hardy like a black belt one, like BJ Penn.
Give Greg Hardy like a bed with a bunch of guns on it.
Oh no, okay. You know,
I mean, wait.
I think Venom draws a line somewhere, and that might be it.
That might be the line.
Before that, we had Cowboy Oliveira versus our boy Kevin Holland. So Kevin Holland finally getting back in the win column. I'm excited.
Back at 170.
170. This is the perfect weight class for him.
This is where he
and like I told everybody after his last fight, after his last loss, I said, if you liked Kevin Holland before for all his antics, then you should still love him now. Don't jump off the train. A lot of people jumped off the train. To those people, we say, you know what? We don't need you on the train. Get the hell off the train.
Lose my number.
Yeah, we say lose my number. But don't unsubscribe. But lose my number. You know what I mean? But Kevin Holland came out here, looked a little flat in the beginning. Okay, I don't know.
Oliveira always looks so good in the first round. He's such a hard. He looks great in the first round.
He'd be like a champion. No, and I put down good first round for Cowboy. On a little flat, forcing action a lot.
Yeah, and what a great scramble at the end of the round. The way he cinched up the neck on that scramble, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
and
then with the thumbs up, Kevin Holland, classic Kevin Holland. But this is, I believe this is the fourth straight loss for Cowboy Oliveira.
Yeah.
Now, this picture being up there, thank you for bringing that up, Rich. Perfect timing. Are you concerned at how easy it was for Oliveira to still take Kevin Holland down?
Not really. He did all right once it got to the ground, right? He got saved by the bell probably, but I also don't know if he was really expecting the grappling from Oliveira, you know? And he said that he was struggling at the end of the first round. He said that he was struggling with the range, that Oliveira was doing a good job of being out of range and like lunging in. So if he was struggling with that and then get the takedowns there, I mean, maybe it is a little worrisome, right? Because that's clearly been his weakness is the takedown.
Yeah.
But we've also seen him defend a lot of takedowns. I'm not too worried about it. Oliveira's also really good.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how good Oliveira is. He's been doing this for a very long time. I know that he's gone through a tough streak here, but he's fought a lot of the top names. And he worked on his gas tank. That was my biggest complaint about Oliveira, was he'd gas out early. And it's not that he's gassing out now. I just don't know what it is. Maybe there's a lack of adjustments going from the first round to the second round. Is part of this corner? What is it?
Maybe, I don't know. He's definitely one of those guys that like he's much better than his record like suggests, you know? Like he's a veteran in there now. I mean, I don't know how many UFC fights he's had, but it's a lot.
I mean, he's beat Carlos Condit, Tim Means.
Yeah.
I mean, he's beat some pretty big names, man.
And he's been competitive with most of his fights. Very competitive.
Yeah.
A little dirty sometimes, cheats a little bit, grabs the fence, all that kind of stuff, right?
I mean,
but
he's not the only one. Look at this entire card, right?
Yeah, but Holland's adjustments with the straight shots, those straight shots are nasty. I mean, look at that. That's beautiful.
Well, that reach, that length, as long as he's using it correctly, he's going to be somebody to really look out for in 170.
Yeah.
Now, with Holland, who do you put him up against next? Because I think he was ranked 14th when it comes to middleweights.
Yeah.
So where do you put him? Who do you have him face next in Walter?
Rachmanov. No.
Oh, whoa.
No, you don't do that. Maybe Ponzinibbio. The Leech. Yeah, the Leech would be a great fight. I would like to see him fight Ponzinibbio or the Leech. I don't know if Ponzinibbio has something coming up, but that's maybe a bounce back fight for the Leech also. It's a winnable fight, I think, for him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we throw him against like a Michael Chiesa. No, you know what I mean? He'll just get out grappled the entire time. So I think that we do start him off with a Li Jingliang. Jeff Neal, maybe?
Maybe. They fought before, right? Probably in Texas on the regional scene.
Did they net XKO over here? Maybe.
I think they fought before. I don't know. I would like to see that fight. I think if I'm Neal, though, I wouldn't take that fight.
No, why?
For me, if I'm Neal, they did fight back in 2017. Holland knocked him out.
Yep. XKO over here in Texas. Shout out XKO.
Yeah. Maybe Jeff Neal. They could build it as a rematch and stuff. But if I'm Jeff Neal, I'm coming off a win. I'm trying to go up.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense. All right. Before that, we had Sergey Spivak versus Greg Hardy. Now,
I love Spivak, dude. He's really cool. The fucking polar bear, it's just sick, dude.
I just have one question.
Yeah.
How long are we going to do this?
This was apparently the last fight on his contract.
How long are we going to do this? Like,
I could do it all year. I could watch this every day.
And it's not just the Greg Hardy thing. Like, sure, I don't mind having him in here. I don't mind watching him fight. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying, though, is like, in a way, him being forced down our throats in the main cards.
Yeah.
When we know that he's not a main card talent. Does he have a name? He has somewhat of a name, but I mean, do you know very much about him other than the fact that he got in that trouble for domestic violence?
I know that he gets the shit beat out of him in the UFC, and it's always fun to watch. Here's the thing with Greg Hardy. He's a heavyweight. He's a name. There's not a lot of names at heavyweight that are going to appeal to like the mass audience. Greg Hardy, they can sell the whole ex-NFL Pro Bowler, all that shit, right? The reality is, when he's going to win, he's going to knock someone's lights out. When he loses, it's a very good performance for the other guy too. So it's kill or be killed, right? It's glass cannon, and that's fun to have on a main card. I'll be honest. You need a heavyweight. You need heavyweight fights that are going to be like this.
Oh man, I don't know. For me, it's like give me Augusto Sakai, Marcin Tybura.
Oh yeah, obviously, yeah.
Give me, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's just take a look at it right now, because there's another 15 heavyweights I'm sure that we'd be able to see on a main card that would be able to give you just as much, if not more, excitement. Walt Harris, even Aspinall, Chris Daukaus.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Dude, it's just...
This is probably the last time we see him.
I mean, I hope so.
Comer. Yeah, Hardy needs to take his fat ass and go play the heel in WWE.
Which might actually work for him.
Yeah. And
all the little, like, kung fu stuff he's doing in the beginning, all those little faces he's making as they're calling his name. He calls himself the Prince of War, standing in the weigh-ins with his arms open. It's like... Yeah, man. Okay, so look. This is the shot of Spivak. This is how the fight ended, right? What's the next picture, Rich? Now, here's our guy, Taito Ibasa.
Yeah.
And look at the position that Hardy's in.
Yeah.
He looks pretty familiar. And then there's more. The next picture.
Yeah.
Same position. I mean, just how long are we going to do this? That's all I'm saying.
And I want to give respect to Spivak, right? Because Hardy is an elite athlete and he is massive. But it was a perfect example of why technique will always beat size, right? I mean, when he got the head and arm throw, the hip toss,
Yep.
I mean, as the guy doing the throw, you set it up correctly, you move an inch, you scoot 1 inch, and they flip over you. It's one of the best feelings in the world. It truly is a fantastic feeling when you hip toss someone successfully, because just the way they flip over the fulcrum of like the leverage point, right, is just like, it feels so good. And watching him do that continually to Greg Hardy was so fucking cool, because you look at the two of them, and this looked like an example of why there needs to be a heavyweight and a super heavyweight division, right? I don't know what they weighed in at, but they looked like Spivak looked like a weight class below him. Yet he's just hip tossing him and dragging him down.
They said he weighed in right at 265 and he had to cut 26 pounds.
Hardy did?
Hardy did.
Okay, yeah. I don't know what did Spivak weigh in at,
and he had to get down to the heavyweight limit of 265.
Yeah, okay. So Spivak weighed in at 243.
Wow.
Right? So, and after that means he didn't cut weight, right? He's probably 245 on fight night. Hardy cut weight to 265. He's probably ballooned up to 275 at least on the fight night. We're talking a good 30 pounds.
Yeah.
30 pounds.
Like you said, let's get the super heavyweight division going, get Mark Hunt back, have him face Greg Hardy one last time, and then we'll go from there.
We'll go from there. HLB Comer, dude. Come on. Plan B, take all the steroids and go to some obscure Asian promotion, become Will's favorite fighter.
Oh, that is classic. Oh man.
Shit.
Hey,
dude.
everybody's getting to know you, Will. Everybody's getting to know you. That's so funny.
Hey, Rising's not obscure. How about have you ever seen this? This was the first for me. Hardy gets TKO'd, right? He didn't look like he went out ever. But then after the fight, when the doctor goes over to him and he's still laying on the ground and they're about to like tend to him, he's laying like this. They touch him and he's like, like straight spooked. Did you see that?
Yeah. It almost looked like he was ready to defend the doctor.
Yeah,
like
against the doctor, right?
The doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy because he was never really like out cold. But then they showed another replay of it. They cut to a replay of that, and I was like, damn, that's nasty. But he's just laying there like this, just like dazed. And then the doctor comes over and it straight up startles him. And I was like, holy shit, man. He was in another dimension.
He was.
Dude, and looking at Spivak, dude, Spivak's very good. Yeah. I know this win doesn't really like say much, right? You beat Greg Hardy, okay. But I mean, you look at his losses, he's only got...
It says more than if he would have lost to Greg Hardy, though.
Well, yeah, definitely. But he's only got 3 losses, and it's Tom Aspinall, who I think could be a future champ, Marcin Tybura, and Walt Harris. Like, not bad losses. And he's beaten Tai Tuivasa, Carlos Felipe, Vandera, Olenek, now Greg Hardy. Like, Spivak is legit, man. I really like him. And you look at the wins that he has, and it's like, so Greg Hardy, ground and pound. Olenek was a decision, but it was like a dominant decision. Vandera TKO with the ground and pound. He arm triangled Tuivasa. He's got a neck crank win before his UFC debut. Like, I like him.
Beat Carlos
Polar
Felipe.
Bear, man.
Hey, Carlos Felipe, another person I'd rather watch over Greg Hardy in the main card. You know what I mean?
That might be the next fight.
Maybe.
Don't give him ideas.
All right. Anything else on that fight?
No, but I'm very excited to see Spivak back in there. I think he can get in there soon.
Really excited about. Who I'm really, really excited about is Jalin the Tarantula Turner, man.
Bro, I was telling everybody.
Smokes.
I was telling everybody before this fight's gonna be fight of the night. I was wrong on that, but like this matchup, when they announced it, I was like, holy shit, what a matchup! Because Mullarkey is tough as nails, dude. He's not afraid to get into a dogfight. He is game. And Jalin Turner, I think, has one of the brightest futures in the organization right now. I am so high on him.
Turner has the perfect frame for MMA. He's tall, he's lanky. Not to say that he's not fit, you know what I mean? He looks like a very strong dude. But look at the length of those arms. And the thing is that when you have that type of frame and you know how to fight and keep your range, you're a very dangerous fighter, right? Yeah. Super efficient, very little wasted movement, very accurate. This guy is going to be a star, man. He's going to be
I
a star.
really think so. He's starting to
He
really
has
put it all together.
personality. He has personality. He's a good-looking dude. You know what I mean? He has everything that the UFC would want in an up-and-coming fighter.
Bro, he's got the spider webs shaved into the sides of his head because he's
So
the tarantula.
sick.
Like, and now we're looking at it. He's now 4 wins in a row, 4 finishes.
Mm-hmm.
And Mullarkey is tough as nails, dude.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, what he did against Mullarkey.
Yeah.
Like, I know he has 4 straight finishes, but against Mullarkey,
I
hope nobody downplays what he actually did against Jamie Mullarkey.
Yeah, no, because that's a very big win. Even when Mullarkey's getting pieced up, dude, he's throwing heat back at you. You have to be on your toe because Mullarkey he's coming off the win over Devontae Smith. That was a nasty fight. That was not an easy win for him. He took a lot of big shots, but he came back and got the knockout. So even when you're like piecing Mullarkey up, like, dude, he is always dangerous. You cannot, and that's the difference between someone like Devontae Smith and Jalin Turner is they're both very skilled, right? But Jalin Turner is growing, and he's gotten to the point now where even when he's winning, he's not going to take things off. He's not going to get caught slipping, right? He's on it, man. He's coming into his own. He's very good.
Super excited to continue watching him fight. What's next for him,
dude? And I know everybody makes a comparison to Anderson Silva, right? Anderson Silva, the long range, the flashy moves, all this stuff.
The
spider. Yeah, come on. I mean, probably on purpose, right? But also Jalin Turner, shout out. He actually has a pet tarantula.
Sick.
Yeah. But dude, that hook that put down Mullarkey, that right hook, that short right hook, really, really reminded me of Anderson Silva. Because Anderson would just land these short little hooks from his hip, right? And they didn't look anything crazy powerful, but it just shut people's lights off. And this didn't like clean KO Mullarkey, but just that short little hook, I was like, damn, he's good. Because it's one thing to be able to use your range, right? And like strike from the outside, but up close like that too, that's where things gonna get a little dicey for someone who's lanky like that. But he's able to shorten it up, keep the elbow tucked, and just, man, looks good.
And like I said, he knows how to use his range really well. Mullarkey had to blitz in a lot. And he has those long legs, man. So you take a couple steps back and try to counter, or like his arm was so long. I think one of the pictures that Rich put up, like you could see him kind of like posting up on his head while Mullarkey's swinging. Yeah. And he's just like cocking his hand back, ready to just let it go. No, not that one, Rich. I think it was that one right there. Look at that.
Yeah.
Mullarkey fully extended, has to duck down a little bit to go for the body. And you notice he still doesn't hit him. And at this point, Turner is already posting up on his head and ready to come back with the counter. Just an absolutely amazing performance, man. Oh, I'm so excited to continue watching him fight.
When they announced that fight, I was like, that's the one. That's going to be the one to look for, the whole card. That's in my opinion, the best matchup on the card. And they kept getting bumped up. And then eventually they became the prelim headliner. And it was like, thank God, because that proves like the UFC knows what they have.
They got something. They got something. All right.
Yeah.
We'll try to go through the rest of these fights rather quickly because I think we're already almost an hour in.
Minutes. Damn.
Yeah, the first 2 fights took 30 minutes. That's just talking about it.
Damn.
But we had Marina Rodriguez versus Xiaonan.
Supposed to be like the number 1 contender fight, right? Carla's going to fight Rose for the belt. This is supposed to be whoever's next. A lot of people mad at this decision.
How about Bisping, though? He was like, oh, this by far is the hardest competition that Marina Rodriguez will ever have faced or has faced so far. And then Joe Rogan's like, what about Carla Esparza, man? He's like, well, no. I mean, like, stylistically. He goes, yeah, what about Carla Esparza? Like, it was so funny, man. Funny combination. But, dude, Xiaonan looks pretty technical, man. I know she's been working with...
she's great, man. Uriah.
She's been working with Uriah Faber and Team Alpha Male.
There's some bias there from you.
Yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit, but she seemed very fast that first round. I don't think Marina Rodriguez was expecting her hand speed to be that fast.
Dude, because it's usually the opposite, right? Rodriguez is usually the one that has the hand speed. But, yeah, you could tell Xiaonan had it. She had the edge there in hand speed. They're both fast, but Xiaonan looked faster. HLB Comer says robbery. I thought might have to rewatch it. But live, I had it for Rodriguez. I had the first round was a clear win for Xiaonan. I had the third round was a clear win for Rodriguez. The second round, so fucking close. I had it for Rodriguez. but I would not. I might have to rewatch it too because I know a lot of people think Xiaonan won that fight, and it was very close. That second round, because I think Rodriguez had the pressure in the second round, and I think she landed a little bit more. But then Xiaonan had the takedown, I think, in the second. So it's like, what do we weigh more? Very close.
I before they announced the winner, in my head, I was thinking, I'm not upset at whoever gets this. For me, it was that close. For me, it was
very close.
Because Marina Rodriguez started getting some of Xiaonan's movement down. Because in that first round, man, Xiaonan was all over the place. She was in and out. I would have loved to see Xiaonan throw more than one punch on the counters because she was so much faster than Rodriguez that first round. And Rodriguez would blitz in sometimes, and she'd like move out of the way and get like a counter hook in, and then she would like continue with her footwork and bounce around and like move around some more. And I'm like, dude, she's still open. She's still open for another shot. Like, follow it up with something else.
Especially when you have that hand speed.
Doing that. Yes, if she would have continued doing that, I think that it would have been a decision for Xiaonan throughout the entire night.
Yeah.
But what do I know? You know, I'm not Uriah Faber, dude. I'm not Uriah Faber.
The judges, it was split, right, on this one?
Yeah, split decision.
Who gave it to Xiaonan?
I'm not sure.
Derek Clearly. Clearly. I think who I think is always the guy who on split decisions is the guy who picks the other one.
Who doesn't see things very clearly. See what I did there? All right. Anything else on Xiaonan versus Marina Rodriguez?
Do you think the winner of this fights the winner of Rose versus Carla? Do you think it was enough?
Rich did not like that dad joke, by the way. Rich the casual coming through saying he didn't like it. But yeah, I mean, I think so.
I think so.
You know, it's I think the next logical step. I don't know.
Yeah. They are trying to book Zhang Weili versus Joanna again. And depending on how that goes, that might get a if
Joanna, we haven't seen her in forever.
Yeah.
Hey, HOB Comer, man, I love the support. You're the champ, Romero. Tell him like it is. You know what, dude? You're right. I'm not gonna listen to Rich, man. I'm just gonna talk like this the entire time with the belt around my shoulder. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna lie. If I had the belt right now, it would be on every single episode.
Yeah, why not, dude? Why not? But no, I think it'd be the next logical step, man.
I think so too.
And Rodriguez, she says she wants the title.
Yeah, and I think. Okay, how about this? After watching this fight, do you think either of them beat Rose?
No,
I don't think so either.
After watching this fight, no.
I still want to see it.
Same. All right, we'll move on. Nzechukwu versus Negumereanu.
What the fuck was this fight?
So the first, okay.
What the fuck was this fight?
The first couple rounds were okay. We had the eye pokes going on, right?
Yeah.
But
that takedown was crazy, by the way. This flying knee to a takedown was nuts.
Yeah, it was nuts. But dude, after the point deduction, Nzechukwu woke up.
Yep.
They should have deducted a point like right away. Like as soon as the fight started, be like, hey, I'm just gonna deduct a point, dude. Give us a good fight. But
yeah.
You know, Nzechukwu, I don't know if you remember. He's been a little reckless. And some of his fights have come off of those like reckless exchanges.
You could say that.
He seems so much more calculated in this fight, but almost too hesitant.
Well, it's like he learned from John Jones and was like, "Oh, I'm a long, lanky guy with a ton of reach. Oh, I'll just keep my fingers out and get eye pokes and luckily, and become a champion. But luckily, he got a point deducted. I thought this should probably be a draw. I don't know if whatever. I'm not even Negumereanu. Yeah, I don't think he won the first and second rounds. That's tough. I think this probably should have been a draw. It's almost like the judges got it wrong, but at the same time, Nzechukwu got what he deserved. So it's like I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much to say about this fight other than nasty eye poke.
Yeah, and I do want to say Negumereanu did a great job of throwing that right straight off the skip step like Carlos Condit used to all the time to close the distance.
Yeah.
Oh man, he would do it over and over again. He would reset and do it, and he would circle back around and reset. And I was like, here comes again, and then he did it again. Like
And
it
props
was
to
very
him
good.
for not taking the easy way out after that eye poke.
Dude, when his eye was spasming, I was like, I fucking hate that feeling.
Bisping's
It's
like,
an awful feeling.
his eye is not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. We know.
We know. Listen, I know you're the eye expert, but like we've all been poked in the eye.
He has a couple spare eyes in his bedroom.
Yeah.
All right. Before that, we
He's
had
got, like, 3 at the
Agapova
desk.
versus Moroz. His excited eye and then like his disappointed eye, and like he just has different
Yeah.
eyes for everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, we had Agapova versus Moroz before that.
Outside of the Jalin Turner Mullarkey fight, this was my favorite moment of the night. This was
Why,
fucking
Will?
awesome. I don't know, man. Maybe it's because Moroz was the underdog. I think on our picks league, I think one person picked her because Agapova is fucking nasty.
Who picked her?
And I don't remember, but I think on someone's, was it? Oh, fuck you. Was it you?
No, it wasn't me.
Okay. I thought
wasn't
you
me.
were
No,
pulling
no,
some
no.
bullshit. I think someone picked But Moroz, she's coming in. She's had some ups and downs in her career, right? Agapova looks like a fucking monster in every one of her fights. Even the one that she lost, it was because she gassed out, putting the beat down on her. But Moroz just comes out and just fucking, the game plan was flawless, man. She just cut straight through her, just up against the fence, drag her down, made it grueling, threatens with submissions. I mean, ultimately got the finish. And I know they had a ton of bad blood, right? Agapova left. Are they an American Top Team?
Oh, I don't remember.
I think wherever they were, I think it's American Top Team. Agapova got kicked out of the gym allegedly. Moroz said it was because she was taking steroids and
Drug
smoking meth
usage.
or some shit. Yeah, so there's a lot of bad blood in this one. Former training partners, and Moroz just comes out, and she was supposed to lose this fight. I mean, she was the underdog for a reason, right? Stylistically,
HOB Comer
bad
was
matchup.
like, this is pretty much the female version of Colby versus Jorge Masvidal. You know, like the previous training
Yeah.
partners, and yeah.
Dude, it's because, and I was telling people, because I had people over, and I was like, the whole bad blood thing between Colby and Jorge, I still don't really buy it. Even after the fight, I still don't really buy it. This one is one where there was actual bad blood, I think. And Moroz comes out there, beats the brakes off of her, ragdolls her, gets the win, gets a finish, and then in the post-fight interview, bro, shit had me tearing up, dude. I scrambled I went back on my phone, screen recorded it, was going to edit it, and then I realized ESPN fucking copyright blocked it. All I had was audio. The screen recording was just black, so I was like, fuck. So I had to go onto my computer, go back onto it, record it with OBS because ESPN's not smart enough to block that. Fucking edit it down, post it on the YouTube channel because goddamn, what a good interview, man.
And it's up on TikTok now too.
It's up on TikTok. It's up on our video on Shorts on YouTube. So check that
By the
shit
way,
out.
Joe
Instagram
Rogan
blocked
handled
it.
that interview beautifully.
I was kind of
she
worried.
pulled the mic,
Yeah.
and everybody started laughing in the audience. And she's like, "Oh, sorry," and tries to get back. He's like, "Nah, you got it. Like it's all you." You know what I mean?
I was worried that the UFC was going to do some shit to like try to censor it and like steer it away from the political stuff, right? And because the UFC is fucking scumbag like that, but they let it go and it was fucking beautiful. What
Have
a
you
good
seen that
interview,
meme
man.
though of like where it's like Olympics pulling Russia from their events, so and so pulling Russia from their events, UFC with all the Russian fighters, and it's Dana White like just sweating,
They're just sweating.
like it's so funny. But no, it was a great post-fight interview. I'm glad that Joe Rogan let her speak her piece, and it was a very
Man, from the heart, man.
heartwarming moment, man. It was awesome, because she was fighting for a lot more than just her record in there and her paycheck, and you could tell it meant a lot to her.
Yeah, definitely, man. What a great moment.
Great moment.
Shit made me tear up, man.
And there's not much that does that, making Will tear up.
Kind of a bitch.
All right.
I'll cry in Saving Private Ryan, you know what I mean?
Hey, dude, but that's a pretty sad movie.
Man, when the medic is dying and he's like screaming out for his mom.
No, dude, look, being real, remember the other night we were texting each other and you're like,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm trying to pull myself together here because it's my daughter's birthday on the 3rd. And so I'm putting like a little like video reel together for her. And your boy here just starts bawling, dude, because she turned 10. And I was like, what is going on with me right now? I'm an emotional wreck. So I was like, dude, I can't work on this stuff right now, dude. I got to pull myself together first. True story, though. True story. All right. Before that, we had Nurmagomedov.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I'll let her know you said happy birthday. Nurmagomedov versus Kelleher. So you specifically wanted to talk about this fight.
Yeah. So obviously you have a last name like that, and everyone has high expectations. He takes him down, cuts right through him, gets the finish. Expected. But
Yes.
shout out Brian Kelleher, he's cool and stuff. But like, this is what was going to happen, right? The translator is the story of this fight for me because obviously Nurmagomedov, someone to watch out for. He looks fantastic. Very excited to continue watching him fight. The translator said, so in the post-fight interview, you see he gets a ton of boos, right? And it's like, oh, it's because he's Russian, right? Because the translator's like, and thanks to Russia, he like thanks Russia, right? He didn't thank Russia. Nurmagomedov said, thanks to my family in Russia, and wished for peace in the world. And the translator said, okay, that's what you said? Okay, cool. Thanks to Russia. And just completely left that part out.
Wow. And he's like, dude, I just said hi to my family, man. Why is everybody booing me
why
right
is everybody
now?
booing? I just called for peace. They don't want peace?
Oh, dude. Fire that translator immediately. That is
crazy, man. So that's why I wanted to bring it up. But yeah.
All right. Great call on bringing that up. And then last but not least, this is the last fight we're going to cover. Tim Elliott versus Tagir Ulanbekov. Bro.
Okay. Off topic, but Khabib is getting thick. HLB Comer says, yeah, Khabib's putting on the weight. It's all that stress coaching, man.
Oh, dude, you see how intense he gets?
He was furious. He was furious in this fight. So was I, though. I'll be honest.
He gets super intense.
Yeah, I'm a huge Tim Elliott fan, but this shit was downright like. And Bisping was kind of defending it a little bit. Oh, it's a veteran move, right? You'll get away with it, but dude, no.
The best ever though. Bisping says, and I quote, "Elliott is doing everything he can to win. Illegal knees, head clashes, holding the gloves. I'm not saying I respect that, but I kind of respect that." It's the best line ever.
Yeah. I thought the first round should have been a 10-8 round. I actually had this fight as a draw. It's either a draw or a win for Ulanbekov. I don't see how you can give that second round to Tim Elliott. I went back and rewatched it. That second round was clear Ulanbekov. Third round was even more clear Ulanbekov. Tim Elliott won the first round, but I do give him a 10-8 for it because he dropped him. But also, they said that they went back. We verified that the knee was legal in the first round. No, it wasn't. That knee was illegal. The knee was illegal. They had slow-mo replay of him grabbing the gloves. He did it multiple times throughout the fight. Like, dude, the clashing of the heads. I mean, what? And Tagir's like literally complaining to the ref about it during the fight, like over and over again. I mean, the dude was robbed. Elliott literally cheated him out of a win.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I mean?
And look, I'm a big Tim Elliott fan. I love watching him fight. But Ulanbekov was robbed here.
I love his energy.
Yeah, and his fighting style is very fun to watch.
His intensity. Remember when he first came in and he fought Mighty Mouse?
Oh yeah, what a fantastic!
And everybody was like, "Oh, dude, easy night for Mighty Mouse." And Tim Elliott gave him everything he could handle. Caught him in a very tight guillotine. Dude, it was a fun fight though. And our bad, we forgot to mention in the Xiaonan versus Marina Rodriguez fight. That's where the female crotch ground strike was. Because there was a lot of things that happened this entire card between the groin strikes, the knees. It was a rough night for the refs.
It was it though. It seemed like they didn't care. They weren't even working extra because of it.
Hey, just let him fight. You know what I mean?
Like, dude, how many times do we need warnings?
Let him play.
Don't grab the fence. And then, dude, and the back of the head shots throughout the night. Like, I mean, it was crazy, and it was just so many warnings. And it's like they know the fucking rules already. You warned them already before the fight. What are we doing, dude? Start taking fucking points.
Yeah, let him fight.
Because it's a crafty move by Elliott to cheat throughout the entire fight because he knows they're not gonna do anything about it.
You know what? Until they do, there's gonna be more fighters that probably end up doing that too. Let them fight.
I mean, maybe it does just need to get to a tipping point, right, where it's just so blatant that maybe now we start doing something about it. Because Jesus Christ, man, I feel for Ulanbekov. This should have been a big win for him. You get a name like Tim Elliott on your resume. That means something. And I thought,
I was fine
even with the cheating,
I picked Tim Elliott to win this fight. So
there you go.
I was fine.
How about let's see, out of all the media scores, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gave it to Elliott, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Gave it to Ulanbekov.
Mm.
I just don't see how Elliott won that second round.
How about Colby Covington telling John, he's like, if you want me to answer your questions, you have to do 10 push-ups right now. And the guy's like, yeah. Anyways, and he asked the question. He's like, you think I'm kidding? Drop down and give me 10 if you want me to answer that question. And he's like, all right, thanks for your time, Colby. And he walks off. I'm like, damn, what a dick, dude. What a dick. Classic. Man. But interesting night of fights.
It was a great card.
It was. Do you have a moment of silence for us, Will?
Yeah, we had a significant moment of silence in this one.
Should we have a little theme music for this? Like Rich just hits the theme music whenever this starts?
Yeah, maybe. Well, it's a moment of silence, music. So
yeah,
maybe it's supposed to be silent. But Jessica I was supposed to fight Manon Fiorot, which I'm so high on Manon Fiorot. I would have liked to see that. I got injured, so Fiorot, I think, is taking on. I forgot who she's taking on, but she got another fight coming up soon. Fiziev versus RDA was supposed to happen. Supposed to be the co-main. Fiziev couldn't get the visa issues, so they bump it onto this card. Then he gets COVID. Not going to happen.
Cursed.
That would have been fun though. Yeah, cursed fight. Aljamain Sterling was supposed to be on this fight versus Petr Yan. They moved that. Volkanovski versus Holloway was supposed to be on the card. Holloway had to pull out for injury. Korean Zombie takes it on short notice, so they bump it back a little bit to give Korean Zombie a little bit more time. But the big one for me was Ghost Pepper versus Devontae Smith.
Shout out to our boy Ghost Pepper
again. Yeah, always. Would have been fun. Because I think Ghost Pepper versus Smith would have been a very fun fight.
Yep. I think we would have seen Ghost Pepper's first W, man, inside the octagon, right?
I think so, too.
All right. Bonuses.
Yeah, bonuses. Who do we got? I think Kevin Holland got a performance bonus.
Nice.
Moroz got a performance bonus as well. Well deserved. And Colby versus Jorge got fight of the night.
I'm glad Colby and Jorge got it because they're really tight for money right now. You know what I mean? Out of all the fighters on the card.
Yeah. It's not like the Xiaonan versus Rodriguez was better, or even, I know it was a finish, but I think Mullarkey versus Turner was probably a better fight in my opinion. But yeah, give it to the guys who are making the most money.
For sure. They're probably getting pay-per-view points off of that too. So
yeah, honestly, Ludovic Klein versus Devontae Smith probably could have won fight of the night. We didn't talk about it, but very good fight.
It was a very good fight as well. Yeah. So a lot of interesting things from the night. And coming up next, what do we have next, Will?
Yeah, I think next week. Give me a sec. I'm pulling it up
Santos
right now.
versus Ankalaev.
Santos versus Ankalaev. I am ready for Ankalaev to get in the title mix. I cannot wait. I think he steamrolls Thiago Santos, and I think he should be next against Yuri, the winner of Yuri versus Glover. I am ready for Ankalaev.
By the way, listen to this. Thiago Santos versus Ankalaev. Marlon Moraes versus Song Yadong. Our boy and Story of the Fight alum, Alex Caceres versus Sadiq
Bruce
Yusuf.
Leroy.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about.
Damn,
Leo Roundtree versus Carl Robertson. Yeah. Drew Dober versus Terrence McKinney back on here.
Taking it on short notice.
Alex Pereira versus Bruno Silva.
What a fucking hell, this is a good card.
It is, man. All the way down. There's a lot of interesting fights. A lot of things to
Trevor Jones on it. Damon Jackson's on it. Marina Maverick stepped in.
Chris Moutinho.
Yeah.
This is the first time we see him since he fought Sugar Sean O'Malley, right?
Yeah, versus Guido Canetti, too. That's a very good fight. Yeah, that's a fantastic card. Holy shit.
All right. Looking forward to it. Until then, do we have anything else for this week?
I don't think so.
Hey, have we not talked about how Rich the Casual could very easily get confused for Jorge Masvidal in the streets?
Yeah,
with his long hair and his beard. We might have to next time put a comparison picture up of the two. Like if you were to tell me today, like, hey, Jorge Masvidal is actually like my brother, I'd be like, oh, okay.
I see. I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
We need to get a good high res shot of Rich, and I can Photoshop him onto the flying knee.
Oh, let's do it, please. Let's do it. But yeah, hey, just a reminder, everybody, if you even remotely like our content, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Like today, we went live and talked about the fights from yesterday. Sometimes we'll do a fight companion. We need to do one soon, though, Will. We haven't done one in a while. Those are always a lot of fun.
Very fun.
Right. And we also have some shorts that go up. So even if you don't want to watch an hour's worth of content, and just get like a minute clip in. You could do that too. And then social media.
TikTok, TikTok at Story of the Fight, Instagram at Story of the Fight, Facebook group chat, Story of the Fight chat. And then here on YouTube, comment so we can respond and shit. Tell us what we suck at so we can get better.
Thank you, 4 to Win MMA, for joining us today. And of course, as always, special shout out to HOB Comer for coming through.
The prodigal son returns to church.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, thanks for listening to another week of Story of the Fight. Gotta shine my belt.